award-winning inventor, best-selling author, TV host, podcaster, speaker, intentional living expert, and on a mission to see that 1 billion women who don't know their self-worth discover their divinity, power, and purpose. Whoa. All right, let's give her a warm welcome like she's never received before. Open Hollywood is a great new channel. Let's feel this energy. Come on, higher, 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 higher.
Don't touch that button. I want to touch that button. Okay. All right. Kelly's getting set up here. Who's going to keep me on track, on time? You. Because I have so much to say and so much to share with all of you, and I don't want to leave anything out. I first want to say what an amazing group of people. Where's Judy? Thank you so much for your years of doing this. It's just incredible. What a love fest there is here. You're just all shining stars, and I'm honored to be here and share my story and my journey and the wisdom and the things that I learned along the way with you. And so, the name of the speech is How to Reinvent Your Life and Live Intentionally, and what that really means. And here's what I discovered is one of the big problems. And let me know if you can't see, and I'm going to move around a little bit too, if that's okay. So a lot of people have gone through a lot of trauma in their lives and had some really bad things happen to them. But there's a huge sector of people out there who haven't. And they're just kind of living their lives in a ho-hum kind of normal. Not necessarily really unhappy, but they're not really living their passion and purpose and feeling fulfilled. And what they're doing is they're living in this mediocrity because they're stuck by limiting beliefs, mental blocks, and fear-based thinking that's trapped in the subconscious mind. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. So what is the solution? What I do is I help people to create the awareness that you can be, do, and have anything that you want. You are limited by nothing. We live in a limitless universe that is literally expanding by the second. We haven't even begun to tap into what this mind can do. We're lucky because we're the only species on the planet that has this. How cool is that? We're the only species on the planet who's not comfortable in their environment and wants to create change. It's awesome. So, I always set intentions with everything. From getting up in the morning, brushing my teeth, how I want the day to unfold. I don't leave them to outside circumstances. I decide that. And so I wanted to set some intentions with all of you today. And that is that you learn something from me today, at least one idea, one aha, one nugget of information that powerfully, positively, permanently changes the trajectory of your life for the better. How does that sound? And that you understand the level of your power and that you're limited by nothing. Like, look at the light bulbs in this room. What would you say? These are like 60-watt bulbs. Here, we are 7,000 watts of power. We're amazing, the energy that's coming from us, and truly able to do anything. So I'm going to share this list. This is a lot of my clients come to me with a variety of things, and this is just a handful of what some of them are dealing with. Their lack of sleep, they're worrying, they've got scarcity mindset, they're looking for love, or they're unhappy in their relationships. And, you know, stressed, anxious, worried, and they forgot how to have fun. Like, they're so wrapped up in what's going on in their lives, they forgot to put that on their agenda. And then this is a list of emotions. And can any, by show of hands, are any of you feeling any of these either now or ever in your life? Have you had? Yes, of course, right? Well, this was me before my reinvention, and I will tell you, I had every single one of that going on, and no one knew it was going on. And I will tell you today, as I stand here, I have none of them. None of them. I have wiped all of this out of my life. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my story with you today. I'm going to do it in 3 parts, but they're all going to weave together. And so this picture right here, that's a picture of the house that I grew up on Long Island. And who was I telling? You guys said I grew up in Long Island, right? So this is in Deer Park, New York. And the significance of this being on the slide is that I got to go home 2 summers ago and see that house. And as I stood in front of it, I realized it had been 35 years since I had been there, and it felt like a nanosecond. And the picture on the right, that's a picture of me looking all sassy with my piss and vinegar, right? Look at the expression on my face. I look like the whole world revolves around me, don't I? Right? Well, I'm 12 years old in this picture. And so I am literally on the cusp of going from girl to woman. Can you ladies, and even you guys, remember going boy to man, girl to woman? So you remember that time in your life when you really did think the whole world revolved around you? And if I could go back and tell her anything, I would tell her that it does. Don't let mean girls, or parents, or teachers, or bullies, or the media make you feel anything less than the extraordinary being that you are. Because we all are. There's a 400 trillion to 1 odd of us being here. We are miraculous beings. It's incredible. And I would tell her that because it would take years and years and years of unraveling that stuff later, right? And then the bottom picture, this is a picture of my family. And the second from right, that's my mom. And this is the last family picture we ever took together. Right after that, she got colon cancer and she passed away. She was 53 years old, and I'm 55. So I've officially outlived my mother, and I can't imagine that because she was so full of life. So the message of this slide is time. It's your most precious commodity. That's why the company is called I Have Today. It is all we have is right now, this moment. Your past is behind you, and you need to get over it as fast as possible. And you really need to be living each day to the fullest, squeezing the juice out of each and every moment of it. And not worrying about your past, but dreaming in your future. Dreaming about it, but really living in the now. If you live to be 100 years old, you're going to get 36,500 days of life. That's it. My mom got 15,509. That's all she had. We don't know what we're going to get. 151,000 people did not wake up today, but we did. So I implore you to be really discerning with the way you're using your time. So we moved from New York to California the summer before my senior year of high school, which was a really traumatic time for me back then, but of course it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. And I went to San Diego State, which is where I fell in love with San Diego, and I ended up getting a temp job at an ad agency between break, and it was a 2-week gig. They offered me a full-time position, and I decided to take it. That turned into a 32-year career in advertising and television since. So I spent 8 years in LA, working in the ad business before I moved to Chicago to get married, and I switched to TV sales. And I spent 20 of those years working at ABC, and I've sold over $100 million of advertising. I learned so much along the way, and these are some of the companies I've been fortunate to work with and for over that time. And while I was working at ABC, it was Easter Sunday in the year 2009, and I was in charge of making the deviled eggs and the sugar cookies. And I love to cook and bake and entertain. I'm very persnickety. I think food should look as good as it tastes. My sisters call me Diane because everything has to be perfect. So I went to put the paprika on the deviled eggs as the last finishing touch as I'm dashing out the door to go to the family gathering. And I took the container and too much spice spilled. Just shot out of the container and it ruined my dish in 1 second. Can any of you relate to that? Like the era of catastrophe? And in my mind, I could see this spoon. And I saw it, and I said, God, if there was just a sifting spoon with a long handle and a little tiny sifting bowl and a tapping edge where I could put it in a spice container and then tap it exactly where I wanted to go, everything would be even and beautiful. No mess, no waste, no dirty hands, no germs. And so I set out on a quest to find it. And I couldn't find it, and I'm driving in the car, and a voice says to me, Diane, you need to create this. So I'm out to dinner with friends a couple weeks later, and I said, hey, I came up with this idea for a kitchen product. Do you know anyone in that industry? And they did, and they introduced me to him, and he became my mentor and desperately tried to talk me out of doing this. He was like, you seem like such a nice lady. This is not easy. And my mantra was, I just want to see where this goes. So I stepped 1 foot in front of the next, not knowing what the flip I was doing, by the way. And following that mantra and that one step after another led me to winning an innovation award at the International Houseware Show in Chicago. There were 30,000 products, new products featured that year, and 65 of them were honored, and the Spifter was one of them. And QVC was there, and they came over to me and they said, hey, we want to sell your product online. So they started placing orders with me, and then, I don't know, like a year later, they called me and said, hey, it's selling really well. We want to put you on air. So they flew me out, and I went on air on QVC, and we sold out in 6 minutes.
Oh my God.
So having the mantra of, I just want to see where this goes, led to this. And so the message of this is, what ideas are you sitting on? Because I know you all have them. We're creators, and we're here to create. That's what it's all about. And 95% of ideas just don't get made. People don't follow through with them. They get buried in cemeteries. They get buried in notebooks. They don't get talked about. The books don't get finished. And the thing is, there are 25% of the searches on Google every single day are brand new search terms. Brand new, which means nobody's searched that before, which means there are millions and millions and millions of problems seeking solutions that you all have the answers to. So the message of this slide is, what if you just see where your ideas go? Imagine what could happen. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the next step, and the next step, and the next step. So the intention piece, the third piece, is my personal journey, and this is my passion, what I have today. Now, I had, as Ken shared, I had what looked like I have it all life. I had the husband and the 2 kids and the dogs and the house and the careers and the travel, all of it. The packaging looked really good. But the relationship was very unfulfilling and very toxic and narcissistic. And while we loved each other, we weren't in love with each other. But there was no connection and no passion, and it fell apart early on in the marriage that I stayed in for over 20 years. And in and out of therapy and counseling and all sorts of support and a lot of trials and tribulations, my mom's cancer, I just kept putting my needs further and further on the back burner, pretending that I didn't need it anymore. Well, you can't do that indefinitely. And so what was happening to me is I was getting these bouts of diverticulitis and in and out of the hospital to the point where I eventually had to have part of my colon removed. And my mom died of colon cancer, and I was heading down that path. And so it was June 25th, 2011. It was a regular Saturday afternoon. We were running around with the kids to and from errands. We went over to some friends for a barbecue that night, and when we got in the car to leave, the fighting started. And when I got home, I snapped. I went upstairs and I locked the bathroom door, and I took out 2 full bottles of prescription pain pills that I had sitting in the cabinet from the surgery I had the year before, and I couldn't take them because they made me so sick. And I had them in my hand. And a force so great knocked them out of my hands, and the voice screamed in my ear and said, you are not ending your life this way, Diane. You need to go get help so that you can tell your story and you can help others. And I threw my hands in the air and I said, well, you need to show me the way, because I don't know how, I don't know what to do. So I cleaned up that mess, wiped my tears, went out and kissed my kids goodnight, and then the next day I left a message for a therapist, and I said, I need help. I'm changing my life. And so started my journey with therapists, with coaches, and it took another 6 months or so to get out of that relationship, but I was finally free in January of 2012. A lot of things transpired. The whole story's in my book. And I had a brief pity party for myself, why me, why this, and then in February I woke up one morning, and instead of doing my regular meditation practice, I sat down and was guided to chant, I forgive you. And I closed my eyes and I chanted, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, for 20 straight minutes, and tears were streaming down my face. It was the most cathartic thing that ever happened to me. And what I realized when I stood up is, I did this. I did this. I'm the one responsible for the condition of my life. It wasn't him. I was the enabler. I didn't set healthy boundaries. I didn't pursue my dreams. And so I don't want this anymore. I want an extraordinary life, and I'm going to do everything I can to get it. And so that started my journey, personal development, spiritual awakening, self-help. I was just immersing myself in everything that I could, and I was writing like crazy and creating like crazy, like I couldn't turn it off. The channeling was just pouring through me. It was extraordinary. And so I woke up in August of 2013 with a poem in my head called I Have Today. And it was, I have today to love and be loved. I have today to start fresh and new. I have today to see things with new eyes. I have today to nurture my spirit, mind, and body. And it went on and on and on. And when I finished writing that poem, I looked down at it and I said, this is way more than a poem. This is a movement. I'm supposed to help women who don't know their self-worth discover their true divinity, power, and purpose. Because if I was living in this quiet hell, how many other millions of women were living like this? So like Steve Jobs said, I could connect the dots going back, and it all made sense to me. So fast forward 2 years later, my twins graduated high school, and I made a bold decision. I quit my corporate job at ABC with no net. I sold my house and everything in it, everything. I got them off to college, and I moved to San Diego with my scripters, my clothes, and a dream. And the mantra of, I just want to see where this goes. So I just had my 4-year anniversary, and I'm going to tell you, it's been nothing short of extraordinary. That's what I asked for, extraordinary life. You know, I became a best-selling author. I've got a TV show and a podcast. I did TEDx talk, you know, creating all these programs and doing all these things. I'm speaking like crazy. All this magic is happening. I'm meeting extraordinary people, and the miracles keep showing up because I stepped over the line of fear into faith and trust that I was going to be okay, and if I just took that step, Spirit was going to be there, the universe was going to have my back, because it always does, and that everything would just be okay. And the more you are open to the miracles, the more they come in. It's the most extraordinary thing. So I don't say this to you to brag to you. I say this to you, what is possible for you? You know, what do you want your life to be? Do you want it to be humming along like you're just okay right now? Or do you want to get to the end of this journey and go, man, was that a ride? It was amazing. So these are my twins, these buggers. This is Robert and Melanie. They're 22 years old. They just graduated college. And the reason why they're my wives is for 2 reasons. A doctor told me I would never have children. He sat in front of me after a procedure, and his tears streaming down his face, and he said, I'm really sorry you're not going to be able to have children. And I looked at him right in the eye, and I said, that's just not an option. I will have children. So he only knew, based on his past experience and knowledge, what he was able to do. He didn't know my power. He didn't know what was possible. And will trumps everything. Everything. There is nothing you can't be, do, or have. And only 15 months later, they came into the world. And the other reason why they're my why is because they're watching everything I do. Your children are watching everything you do. You are leading by example. And they barely graduated high school. I sold their childhood home. I sold all their toys. I sold everything in the house, got them off to college, and went and pursued my dreams. And I taught them, your dreams matter most. Don't put anybody else's needs above yours. If I had stayed back there, it would have been for them, and that's what I would have taught them. And because they watched me, and it's been up and down, believe me, they've seen it all. A lot of resilience, a lot of success, but a lot of resilience. They now live fearlessly. They just graduated from college, and they got jobs. They're not afraid to try things. They live fearlessly. So what is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? You know, what is the legacy that you want to leave? So I'm going to share with you the 3-step process. And this is the 3-step process that turned my life around. And what I did is, in my studying and awakening and all of this, I'm a hacker and I'm into leverage. I really want to get the most out of this day and the most out of everything. And what I discovered is, this is my mantra that I live by. And love it is, love your life. Love everything that's ever happened to you in the past, because it was there to teach you something. It's always been for you, even if it didn't see it at the time. You didn't see it that way at the time. But love it and appreciate it, because it got you where you are right now. And thank it is to be grateful for where you are today. Be thankful for everything. We're sitting in this beautiful room with these beautiful people. We have fresh, clean water on the table. Do you know how many people? 5,000 kids die a day from drinking dirty, contaminated water. I mean, it's crazy. Do you know how many people never sleep in a bed? Do you know 3.5 billion people live on less than $3 a day? We're so lucky. So live in gratitude and appreciation for that every day. And bring it is the power. Loving your life, being grateful for it. Now, how are you going to show up today? What are you going to do that's going to make you uncomfortable today and step over that line that makes you think bigger than you ever thought possible? And that's in your relationships, that's in your health, that's in your business, that's in every area of your life. How are you bringing it? So this is the 6 principles that I used. This is what really changed everything for me. I'm just giving them all to you because I know I'm in a room, all you guys probably know this already, but meditation is the number one thing that changed my life. That opened up the portal to abundance and receiving like you can't believe. That's where it all came from. Journaling, somebody said journaling already, yes. Pen in hand on paper, that is your creative expression. Genius comes out when you do that. And then move your body. We moved our body today. Get those, the endorphins going, get the dopamine going. It's so good for a healthy, active mind. And then setting intentions. Don't leave your day up to circumstances outside of your control. When you wake up in the morning, please don't pick up your cell phone first thing. Checking texts and email and reading the news. 99% of what's going on your cell phone is about somebody else's needs, not yours. Honor yourself first. And forgiveness, like I told you, that was the freeing thing. God, was that freeing? And then, of course, gratitude for everything. So this is what's going on. I know a lot of people in this room really get this, but this is my beliefs, okay? You know, law of attraction is really powerful. We know about the visualization, and you know you gotta feel it, you know you gotta act as if. But the key that's missing in the secret, which is why so many people struggle with manifestation and the law of attraction, is language. It's the way they're speaking about themselves to themselves and outwardly. Like, I'm so busy. What a terrible thing to say. Don't say that anymore. Or I'm so worried, or I can't, or I'm too old. Just all of that negative stuff is giving you exactly what you're asking for, because the universe only knows 2 things, one emotion and one word. The emotion is love, and the word is yes. So whatever you're speaking about, you're getting it. The universe is going, here's more, here's more, here's more. So we have to create awareness about what is going on. And the subconscious mind processes 40 million bits per second. It's all your memories. It's a database. Its only job is to collect data. So I have a 55-year-old computer hard drive in my head. Imagine that never getting a software update or cleaned out. How slow and sick would that run? It would be awful. And it's what I affectionately call the dandelions. It's the noise in there. 70% of our thoughts are negative. So how would you treat a field of dandelions? You wouldn't pluck them out one at a time, and it would just never happen. You would put weed killer on it and fertilizer. Then you'd mow it and water it, and you know it goes away in a couple of weeks. We have that capacity to do that too. So how do you get rid of the dandelions? Number one, you create awareness that it's going on. Awareness is the first key. Like, you've got to catch it. Catch yourself when you're about to say something. Think before you speak. And understand that you are going to have negative thoughts, but you don't have to express them. It's what you do with them. And tell your subconscious a different story. It's literal. It doesn't know truth from a lie. It doesn't know past, present, future. When you keep talking about your past, you are living it over and over again on a cellular level, right? You need to tell it a different story, and it will believe it. And then focus on changing your language. So I'm going to do that with you guys right now. I do a lot of work on reframing, and this is how am I doing on time? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good, we got more to go. So a powerful way to create the change is a process that I call the vocabulary replacement process. Now let me tell you a quick story about how this came down. I got on the train to go downtown in Chicago when I was working there one day. My girlfriend got on the train, and it was a 40-minute express ride, and I hadn't seen her in a while. So we sat there and we started talking, and I noticed very quickly, within the first minute or two, she said the word worry to me 5 times. 5 times in under 2 minutes. And I said, I'm going to play a little game with myself, and I'm going to count how many times she says the word worry on the way downtown. 40-minute train ride. 45 times. 45 times. Which means this woman is in worry in every minute of the waking day. It broke my heart for her. So that same day, I'm not kidding, it was cold in Chicago, so I went and got a salad. I'm eating at my desk, and I'm working, and I start listening to Zig Ziglar. And he shares a story. He said, did you know that there are no reported cases of any American Indians who stutter? Do you know why? Because in their language, they don't have a word for stutter. so it doesn't exist. And ding, 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 the light bulb goes off. So I'm thinking about what happened with my girlfriend in the morning with the word worry. And I'm thinking about what I just heard Zig Ziglar say, and I said, what if I remove words from my vocabulary that I don't want in it anymore, that don't serve me? They're disempowering me. They're hurting me. Amazing. That list that I showed you at the beginning, gone. Don't ever utter those words. Well, these are the top 6 that I encourage you to replace. Number 1 is worry. Replace your worry with wonder. Think about all the things you've worried about in your life. How many of those have actually happened? Probably none, or very few. But what if you replace it with wonder instead when it comes up? I don't worry about my kids. I wonder if they're having a great day. I wonder if they have everything they need. You know, I wonder if they're healthy and happy. So replace your worry with wonder. Fear with faith. Like I shared in the story. You know what? I could have been fearful about creating this picture or recreating my life. Instead, I had faith. And you got to be able to step over that line of fear and move past it anyway. So replace your fear with faith. You're going to be okay. There are no mistakes. There's only lessons along the way. Like, we can't get it wrong. Isn't that so cool to know? And then your trepidation, or whatever word you use for trust. Just trust. We have 3 minds: our head, our heart, and our gut. Our heart is the yes. Our gut is the no, and our head is designed to keep us in fear and safe. So when you feel something, and it feels exciting, and you get that kind of pull like you want to go, go. It's the universe on your back going, yes, this is the way, this is the way, right? So trust, because when you do this, then this. Yeah, I want to do that, but I don't have the money. Yeah, I like to date, but when I lose weight. All of those things that you're doing, this dance, is blocking your progress in your life. So get rid of that trepidation and replace it with trust. Doubt with determination. So imagine I was determined to have those kids. Nothing was going to stand in the way. Determination and desire ruled me. I checked out at the door. It was nowhere in the vicinity. You don't have to know every step. If you think about how a baby operates, baby's born on their back, and then they learn how to roll over. And then they learn how to get up and crawl. And then they learn how to pull themselves up. And then they learn how to take a step, and then another step. And then all of a sudden they're walking. Then they're running, and they're skipping, and they're jumping, and they're dancing, and they're flying, right? The ability to do it was in there all along. They just had to catch up with it. But the entire time they're doing it, they're falling down and getting back up. Falling down and getting back up. Falling down and getting back up. They never once beat themselves up. Why do we beat ourselves up for the quote-unquote falls, failures, mistakes that we make? It's crazy. But they only are ruled by determination. They see that stuffed animal or that cookie or that shiny object, and they only have laser focus on it and determination, and they're going after it without the noise. That's the way we need to be living. Anxiety with anticipation. Whenever you start to get that anxious feeling, turn it into excitement. Like, I don't know where this is going to go, but I know it's going to be great. I know it's going to be exciting. Trust that that's going to be what happens. And last and certainly not least, stress. I can't tell you how many young adults, college students, young adults in the world, I've removed the word stress out of their vocabulary. Do you know how often they say the word stress? Stress, think of all the pressures that they have on them. Their studies, their commitments, their schedules, so busy, their lives are so packed. With surrender, there is no assertion. There is no force. There is no pushing against. Everything is attraction. Allow, receive. So when you're coming up against something and it's not feeling right and you're struggling through it, you gotta step back and let it go. I do this thing. I go, whatever it is, I put it in a bubble and I go, pop it up to the universe. I go, you got it. I'm letting go. I'm pivoting this way. And it works itself out. Give it up to surrender, because the universe is going to out-deliver every time. It's going to surprise and delight you. So these 6 words, right now, imagine this list being gone and only having that. Your life is going to start getting magical. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so what is the answer? The key to happiness, 10 minutes, great. The key to happiness is setting yourself up for success daily. Because here's the thing. Mindset is muscle. Just like the muscles on your body, you gotta work them every day. You gotta work the mindset every single day. Tony Robbins does, Oprah does, Bill Gates does. Everybody works their mindset every day. And so change happens in a moment. The moment you decide to make a change, but then you've gotta build the momentum, you've gotta stay committed to it, and you have to believe that the change is gonna happen. So, you need to set yourself up for success daily. And so what I am going to tell you about now is an extraordinary program that I created, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's called the Happiness Formula. Statistics are now anywhere from 70 to 90% of people are saying they're unhappy. It is insane. Suicides are up 30% since the year 2000, and they're up a staggering 50% for women. Kids as young as 10 are killing themselves. It's crazy. I mean, depression and anxiety and suicides are at an all-time high. I'm doing something about it. It was my journey, and it was my story, and I'm really passionate about it. And so I don't want to put the emphasis on the negative. I want to get everyone figuring out what makes me happy. And it doesn't matter where you are in your life. You know, I surveyed a lot of people. Overwhelmingly, 78% of them said they weren't happy, so they were in line with the statistics. There was one person who said they were 100% happy in their lives. I said, I need to have you on my TV show because you figured some stuff out, and you need to share that with the world. But most people are suffering in unhappiness and depression. They don't know. And the thing is, they haven't gotten clear about what it is. People are suffering from lack of specificity. So if you don't know exactly what you want, the universe doesn't understand ambiguity. Can't bring it to you, can't make it easy on you. So you've got to get specific. And so people are not asking themselves enough questions, and they're not asking themselves the right questions to get the clarity. So that's what we're going to do in this program. And I created it. It's a 21-day program because, like I said, I'm a hacker. I'm into 3-step processes. I want it easy for you because for 3 reasons. They're easy to remember, they're easy to implement, and then they're easy to build upon. So you should have every single thing that you want. You should have a have it all life. You should be feeling happiness, joy, fulfillment in every area of your life, every day of your life. Not that you're going to be happy all day, every day, but you're sure going to know how it feels to feel happiness and joy every day. And when you get really specific and you start manifesting into your life stuff so fast it'll make your head spin. Right, Kelly? I mean, just the stuff that comes around, it's just like, how is this happening? I'm like, this is the way it works. This is the way it's supposed to work. So knowing that. So let me tell you what it is. It's 3 modules, easy modules, and the first one gets you really clear how to figure out what it is you really want. Because so many amazing, successful business people in here, but every business will go through entropy. At some point, your business is going to die off. You can't keep doing it the same way. This is an innovative world. We have to keep growing and expanding, right? So it's being able to think ahead. What's my next move? What else do I want to be doing? You know, and keeping your eye on that. Because if you keep the status quo, it's going to go down. So figuring out what you want. And I do a lot of this with women with dating. Like they want to meet the love of their life. They have no idea how to attract them into their lives because they haven't gotten specific about what it is they want in that relationship. And then how to give yourself permission to be happy. This is huge. We don't give ourselves permission to be happy, so I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. And the third one is really powerful because there's things you need to give up in order to be happy. You need to move some stuff away and out of your life to create the space for all of that to come in. And there's an amazing guidebook, The Happiness Formula, which you get forever. And the thing is, your goals and dreams and desires are going to change. Maybe you do a year plan, or a quarter plan, or a 3-year plan, or a 5-year plan, whatever it is. You're going to start manifesting things faster, and your goals and dreams and desires are going to change. But the formula never changes. So you have it forever. You can work it whenever you want. It's so awesome. And then bonus, I'm going to do 3. Are you having fun with me? Are you guys enjoying this so far? How would you like to have 3 live coaching sessions with me to bring you further along and identify what it is that you specifically want? Because the program's great, but every single person is different. And everybody wants different things. And there's no judgment. You're allowed to have whatever it is you want. And so I'm going to do live coaching sessions where we answer all your questions. Don't worry if you miss them. We're going to record them, and you can email questions to Kelly at info@Diane Forster. So we will make sure to get your questions answered. And then I wanted to give 2 powerful gifts, because after the 3-week program is over, I want you to keep the momentum going. So one of them is my 3 tips to get everything you want. And I mean everything that you want. And it's all focused on the language that I was talking about. It teaches you how to reframe. So you catch yourself when you're doing that, and you start to pivot the language, and the magic keeps continuing to happen and happen and happen. So powerful, and that's valued at $500. And then my 30-day challenge on how to have a better today, ebook and video series. This is my clients' favorite thing that I've done. They keep asking me to do another one. It's so much work that I haven't done it yet, but it's 30-day. We created an ebook of it, but it's 30 videos, 2 3-minute videos of an inspirational challenge. And I say challenge, it's really an opportunity for you to expand even more. It's so powerful, it's so fun. That program is valued at $1,000. So this is everything. The Happiness Formula, the online modules in the guidebook, valued at $497. My online coaching and training, personalized with you, is valued at $3,000. And then the 2 gifts, 3 tips to get everything you want is $500, and the 30-day challenge on how to have a better day today is $1,000. So everything there is valued at $49.97. What's it worth to you to have a happy life? More happiness than you know what to do with. Think about what that number is for you right now. Think about what you've spent trying to get happy. Think what's worked and what hasn't worked. And I'm telling you, the last thing you need is another program that you don't complete. And the last thing you need is a program that you don't get results with. Because I love Judy and Ken, I'm doing it for $397 for today. Amazing, right? Less than a day at the spa. So, does anybody have any questions about it or for me? Okay, well let me just say this. This is how you get a hold of me. And Kelly and I are going to be at the table with the forms, and we opened up the registration. We actually closed it last week, but we opened it up for today because I wanted to include all of you in here. And Judy, I'm gifting it to you, so you get to be a part of the program. So, yay! So what I want to say is this. Be discerning with your precious time and your today. All you have is today. Don't waste it. Don't spend time lingering in the past or worrying about the future. Your life is right now. And let your mantra be, let me just see where this goes. Because what if you just see where it goes? Let the magic happen for you. It's been an honor to speak to you today. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you.